answer. I started dancing because I was like, man, I'm so like not cool. I want to do something cool, you know. I was like, I want girls to think I'm cool. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna start breaking because breaking is the coolest shit, right?
All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Throwing Tantrums. We got a bigger group this time around, bigger than 4 or 5. So we got some new faces you guys may not be familiar with, or may have not heard yet if you're listening to this. So today we got Amanda, Safira, and Tin. Those are the new guys, and some veterans you know already are Diego and Brandon. So we're gonna skip them, introduce them last, and get started off with the new ones. Let's start off with Amanda. A little bit about she's drinking water. So let's start off with Amanda. A little bit about your dance experience, what you do in regards to dance stuff. And then
my experience. I was in the competition community for a minute, and then I met Brandon, and then
that sucks.
It's unfortunate. We were on the set of a music video that has since been taken down, but it's okay. I stand by it.
Oh.
Yeah.
What music video?
It's this girl called Jessica Domingo, and she wrote a beautiful song, so cute, and me and Brandon did a great job. We looked so cute, and then she took it down because now she only does covers. So it was actually a cute song.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I stand by it. And then I was on the core dance crew for an amount of years, and then we did like cosplay dance at conventions, San Diego Comic-Con, other cons, LA.
Con artists, conning people.
Yeah. And then I've done random little small music videos, had a good time. I am a dance teacher for little ones, and it's a good time. Oh, can you guys not hear me well?
Oh, I just saw that.
Oh.
Everyone try muting your mic right now. See. Might be because there's so much background.
Did it work? Okay. And just about me in general, I have 2 cats, and I love them both more than I love most people. And I have long curly hair, and I am half Brazilian, and that is, and I also am acting now, sort of. I'm featured on Reverie, which is the LGBTQ version of Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's about me.
Hey, I love Reverie. I was a TV host for them.
You were?
Yeah.
Bitch. All right. Tin, are you having a hard time hearing? Go on mute.
I can hear somewhat. I hear like 20%, but I can hear.
Okay, cool. All right, just making sure because we were able to hear Amanda clearly earlier. It's probably because there's like a lot of people now, so I'm expecting some background noise might be part of the interference. That's just my hypothesis right now. All right. With that, next up is Safira. If you haven't listened to our one-on-one episode, make sure you go listen to that. Safira, take it away. A little bit about you.
Hi guys. My name is not Safira, although no one can ever pronounce it right. Safira. I am. Gosh, I don't even know what kind of dancer I am. I started off as a B-girl. I was doing capoeira and B-girling and had a pretty severe neck injury, stopped dancing, did a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it's really hard to break dance when you have a neck injury. So that was rough. Then I went into house, more like flow dancing, which is a lot easier on my body. And then started building a business, so kind of took off with other things, and but luckily stayed connected to like Extra Credit Crew I was dancing with in San Francisco with Sarah Smalls, and then stopped for like a number of years. But then being back in LA with Sarah, she invited me to do the Rose Parade 2 years ago. And then that's where I got to meet Brandon and Emeroy. And I just remember Emeroy being the camera guy, like running around on the floor, like the camera all over the place.
It's like the only thing I did.
That's the only thing he did. And he did the whole parade with a camera in his chest.
Yeah, that was the best. Sarah told me, like, I was hiding that camera the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, no cameras. Leave your phones. Yeah. And in the previous Rose Parade, I saw other fuckers, like, with their phones. I was like, you know what? I'm going to strap this GoPro to my chest like fucking Iron Man.
Yeah.
And had my phone with me. I was recording the whole thing. I wanted to record the whole parade experience from the point of view of a dancer.
Yeah, that's when I like started paying attention to who Emeroy was. I was like, who is this guy that's like obsessed with cameras?
Recording everything.
Yeah, so then I started dancing again here in LA with a whole bunch of folks from the Rose Parade, and excited to be a part of Temper Tantrums. I've been doing choreography since I got to LA, learning how to do the whole hip hop choreography, which, by the way, is like a different style of dance from hip hop, like hip hop, popping, locking, and breakdancing versus like choreo style. It's been quite a learning curve. But yeah, was hoping to get into all of that this year. And then I also belly dance. So I've been doing that in restaurants and places around like banquet halls and things like that around LA. So that's a lot of fun too. Lots of different styles. My deal. Anything else you want to know?
Cool. Your marital status, your exact address. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you,
address?
Sophia.
I'll give you guys my address.
Blood type.
Yeah.
Last four of your social.
Yeah, the last four of your social. Your mother's maiden name. They're like asking for her Google password.
What street did you live on? What is the name of your first pet?
Okay. I have all the info. You can hack into all my accounts.
All right. Thank you, Sophia. Next up is Tin. Take it away.
What was the question? Like, how did I get into dance and stuff?
Like your name, like your background in dance, all this other stuff. Whatever.
I'm actually not a dancer. I'm a construction worker. I wandered into the Antics audition by accident. And
who just happened to have power moves from construction work.
Yeah, the construction work. I was basically stretching from construction work, and they're like, "Hey, can you move like this?" And I was like, "Cool, let me learn that real quick." And then I was like, "Oh shit, I'm a professional dancer, baby! Fuck yeah!"
It sounds legit. It sounds like how it happens in movies.
It does. It sounds like a movie.
Honestly, that was just like a very evasive answer. I started dancing because I was like, man, I'm so like not cool. I want to do something cool, I was like, I want girls to think I'm cool. So I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm gonna start breaking, because breaking is the coolest shit, right?
Yes.
That's not how it works at all.
Turns out you can't top rock with chicks.
from dancing for like how long? For like 13 years now, like breaking. That's not how it works at all. I'm just like, damn, I like should have went into finance or some shit, But sorry guys.
Should have went into finance. Fuck that.
Anyways, so yeah, like now I dance to like not go crazy. Like I'll go to the park and break to not go crazy. But I think it's more like a lifestyle now. Like I try to be healthy and stuff, and like I try to like not feel nihilistic, like because it feels like really hopeless sometimes. So if I force myself to go like to the park and break a little, like for some reason I immediately like forget like things are hopeless. So it's like cool, and I'm always like there's always something to learn. So I mean that's for me as dancing. I've basically given up on like trying to dance professionally because I'm like, fuck this. I'm 32 years old, bro. But if you want me to dance, bro, like I got you, bro. Like if you want me to like break or some stupid shit, like yo, I got you. Like
how this happened was I kept texting Tin, and I just coerced him to join us. Tin, we need another b-boy. I like that because especially considering everything that's happening right now, it's good to have some sort of outlet, so it doesn't feel hopeless, so to speak. As much as many things are canceled in 2020, I don't think hope is canceled. So.
Jeez, bars, my goodness.
So
yeah, I mean, like I really thought about. Like it gave me time to think about like the time that I spent in the studio, right? Like I'm like really not social, so then like I don't even know everyone's names, and like we're rehearsing together, but I like didn't notice how much like important that was, because it's like the social bonding, and then but you're also like in a room with other bodies, so there's like so much that's like being exchanged, like the mirror neurons and stuff, like there's a lot of information that our bodies are given when we're dancing, and we're sharing all of that. And then like now I find myself not being able to go to the studio or not being able to go to the gym, and I'm like, man, like I don't have a social life because I straight up just dance. So now all I do is smoke weed, yo. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, I mean,
smoke weed every day.
Yeah, it's not cool. Like it's funny, but it's like it's not cool because it's like, yeah, like what happened? Like, where's all my friends? Like they're stuck at home or like making Instagram videos. Like it sucks,
or
like,
TikTok videos.
Yeah, I'm not even on that, so I'm just like I'm so out of the loop. Like,
yeah, like there's so much in regards to like the team, because right when you hopped on, it was like there's a whole bunch of new members that hopped on, so there was a whole like plan of like, yeah, like there's a whole team bonding, everything that we wanted to do, because yeah, there are new members that really weren't part of the October cast or the December cast, but yeah. I appreciate you sharing, dude. I appreciate you being here. So, yeah. Next up, I'm gonna pass some people you may already know. Diego, take it away. Then Brandon, you're after.
What do I say at this point? I didn't know. What's up?
Quick intro. That's it.
What's up, guys? It's me, Diego Tays, at Longtan53.
Oh God.
I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. Hope everybody having a good day. All right, there it is.
All right, Brandon, go. Diablo Brandon.
Yo, it's me, Brandon B. You catch me at DBL0 Brandon.
Stop promoting yourself.
Brandon, not Diablo. But yeah, you guys know me. I'm just the average, regular LA dancer, model, actor. You know how that goes.
Oh, this average. Yo, he came in rhyming. It's me. Brandon, oh my goodness! Like he came in rhyming. I was not ready.
All right. So today's episode, we're gonna be answering random questions from the random question generator. Hopefully.
Oh no, that's a thing.
This is a thing.
That's gonna be
random
great.
question generator,
so,
aka your parents.
Mom. Who are you talking on the internet?
Ask that guy right there. How does his hair do that? Ask that guy.
Yeah, Brandon's probably like the most like ready in terms of his set. I mean, I have a light, but it's like meh. It's like a limp dick compared to yours, Brandon. So,
I mean,
all right. So first, sorry. First random question is, oh my God. Is the human tendency to create groups an overall positive or a negative trait in terms of general human flourishing? Holy shit. This is a fucking deep-ass question.
Wait, I have thoughts on that. Wait, I have so many thoughts.
Okay.
Okay, I read this
Take it
book.
away.
Go on.
I didn't finish the book because it was real long, but it was about the human species, how we came to be. Basically, any group over like a certain number, and I forget the number, it was like 120 or something like that.
150.
Whatever the number is.
Oh shit! Okay.
Over that has to be like, we have to create things that don't exist, such as governments, philosophies, morality, etc., because we can no longer gossip effectively about one another. So, like gossip effectively meaning like, yes, he's good at hunting and gathering. Yes, she's good at also hunting and gathering because under the construct. So basically, the idea of humans creating groups is like a good thing because we're able to, in small groups, like a team, create things that are effective and move together and create change together. But when we start to create things that no longer exist, that's when like more societal problems, like more people, more problems happen. And that's as far as I got in the book.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon.
Teacher, me next. No, I agree and disagree, and here's why. So when it comes to groups and saying like, oh yes, these people are good, these people are bad, that I understand. But my issue is when it comes to it comes to the bottom line of you and like them and us.
Yeah.
You know, it comes to like, oh, it's us and them, and not only is it us and them, is it who's better than us? Are they better than us? Are we better than them? Well, they're better than us, but that third group, we're better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always going to be like this kind of level type of thing, because that's always the people. I mean, for God's sakes, like humans, we're all humans, right? But then it all became like, oh, well, you're this type of human and I'm from this type of region, and we're white and you're brown and you're Asian and you're black and you're whatever it is. So it became this ongoing like division among division among division among division of that, you know. And it sounds so like kumbaya, like everybody's one of the human race, but I mean really is, because then it goes down to classes of like, you know, how much is your income, or who is your lover? Are you LGBT? Are you straight? Are you, I mean, and it all goes on, and it's like this whole constant idea and like system that's imprinted in people's brains, for people to understand. Like I always say the concept of people when it comes to different types of things is I need to understand who you are. So what box can I put you in so then I can understand you, rather than as a person like, oh, who are you? That's really cool. It's, I don't know who you are. You kind of seem like this person. So I'm going to automatically put you in this box so then I can understand you.
That's a pretty good way of putting it. Yeah, because hearing this question just makes me think of, I've been really watching a lot of history of like this groups having this tendency, eventually trying to feel superior over the other, that the ones who feel, you know, outcasted eventually, I was watching Roman history, eventually being overthrown because of this ego, so to speak. So I think it, you know, in a sense, it can help push our evolution in a sense, but also the tendency to like to us versus them creates the division that pulls us back, really. So anyone else on this? Heavy ask random question.
What was the question again?
Is the human tendency to create groups an overall positive or negative trait in terms of general human flourishing?
You're a fucking Levite. I'm a fucking Corinthian. No, I'm a Semite. No, I'm a fucking North African. It's like, who cares, bro? Who gives a fuck? You know?
This is Old Testament right here.
Yeah, I mean, even now, right? Like, in Africa, like they're like, oh, he's from a different ethnic group. It's like people from America get so confused. They're like, but he's black too. And it's like, no, he's from an ethnic group. It's like, how can you tell? Have you seen, was it Hotel Rwanda? It's so fucked up, dude. You see that movie? And it's just like people who look exactly the same killing each other. It's a very complicated question. It's so weird, dude.
I think that in modern culture, we have this opportunity to create our own groups, like create groups that matter to us, like this dance community, and pick it and like pick the people we want to have in charge and pick what we want to do with it. And I think that's like the most advantaged and enlightened place to be with groups, because we need groups. We need to have people. We need to have like support. We need to have, you know, emotional support. We need to have leadership. We need to have the deciders. You know, we need to have the people that are good at this thing and the people that are good at this thing. And then also, you don't want to have like to be in communist regimes that are controlling your entire life and all of that. So like in modern culture, we get to pick our groups, and hopefully you pick a good leader, like a good balanced group. Emeroy, do we pick a good group?
Yeah, like America, we do that all the time.
Oh, shut.
America's great at picking leaders.
Well, here's what I thought. Okay, those listening, those watching, you believe what you want to believe, all that stuff. I have my beliefs, you guys have beliefs, whatever. You can turn this off and whatnot, but I felt like, with Obama, like being on that one side, I think it was a matter of time where we swing to the other side. It just happens, like balance, like it's part of nature. It's like Star Wars. Going from one side.
What do you mean it's like Star Wars? It's like Star Wars used to be good and now it's bad and it's gonna be good again, or?
So I'm hoping, but like how they like how they always, like in the first 3 episodes, like the Jedi were all like they're everywhere. They had their own fucking form of government and everything, and the Sith destroyed them.
The Jedi were evil.
Oh God! I'm glad like there's someone else that saw that, creating child soldiers, all this other stuff. Yeah, so they were exactly like what they fought against. And
if you really thought about it, the Jedi were evil. Just like really thought about it. They took children away from their families, right? Mm-hmm. Without like asking parents for permission, right? And what did they do to the parents? They don't do shit. Like Anakin had to come back and like his mom got fucked up. Like what the fuck is that? Okay, number 2, it's like we are supposed to be peacekeepers of the Republic, right? If you're peacekeepers and you straight up have a temple in Coruscant or whatever, it's like, why are you generals? You guys are supposed to be advocating for peace. No, I'm General Kenobi. I'm wearing armor and shit. Like, no, what is that? Like, I'm for peace. And then I go and I dress up like a Nazi and I'm like, yeah, I'm for peace, yo. Like, no. And I take children away from their parents. No. For my religion, for my Jedi religion, no, the Jedi are evil. Anakin is the chosen one.
I mean, I'm just saying. Bring back Jar Jar Binks, y'all.
Jar Jar Binks is the chosen one.
He is the chosen one. Jar Jar Binks was the chosen one.
Dude, what the fuck just happened?
This is what I was expecting.
Are we still on the first question? I just want to make sure.
Yo, Diego, remember when we did this 8-person podcast thing we did at Liz's house? This is exactly. Yeah. It took us 45 minutes to get through the first question.
Oh, that's right. Oh, no.
Number 2. Bring on number 2.
All right. Random question number 2. Ooh, these questions, man, are not light. Are people ethically obligated to improve themselves? Yeah, I thought these were going to be light.
Yes,
but
man.
It's not.
Yes. I say yes for sure. I say yes because that's like what if you don't like improve yourself, what do? You just lay fallow? Like you're just gonna go to waste? That's such a waste. Like that should be some kind of like ethically immoral shit. Like okay, so like we have a problem with rich ass people in this country all keeping it to themselves, right? It's like, what do you do with all the money? You just keep it all to yourself? It's like the same thing with our wealth, right? We're actually, if you have a computer, you're in the 1% in this world. Like you have a computer, dude, and the internet. So it's like if we just lay fallow and don't do shit, like I think about this every day when I smoke weed. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing shit. Like, what can I be doing? Like I'm like, I can't even play video games. I'm like, I play for like 15 minutes. I'm like, bro, I can be doing something else. Like, I know I'm high. I'm really enjoying this, but I can be doing something else, you know? But yeah, I say yes, like yes, like, because that's, I don't know, what else are you going to do, you know? What else are you going to do?
Well, here's the thing. I want to chime in on that then. I think that's the hard part. So are we... Okay, say the question one more time, Emeroy.
Are people ethically obligated to improve themselves? Man, this is
so the word podcast. With obligated, here's the thing. To what extent? Right? Because anybody can say, I mean, first of all, you're obligated to do something, right? You have to walk. So you have to learn how to walk. So you have to, you know, like that's bettering yourself, right? You don't necessarily have to to go to school, but then you can't talk, but you need to order food if you're just going to get, walk in life and you just can't be mute. Like there's like certain things that people are like, well, I did that. I went to elementary. I went to high school. I got a car. Like, like there's just certain things that's like, is it the bare minimum? Because you're getting farther than somebody who's not in that way, but you're also not doing anything for society, if that makes sense, So I think the bigger picture is, yes, we want somebody who's like supporting and like helping at some aspect in society. But that aspect is very general depending on what your upbringing is, because sometimes, for instance, people who come from families who never gone to school before, and then they're the first ever who's, made it. That's kind of like their sort of legacy, if you will, is people who don't do anything. So they chose to do something better, so it depends. It's kind of relative to what your upbringing in your life is.
Was the question about improving yourself?
Are people ethically obligated to improve themselves?
Okay. I also read this thing that was like, rich people are like in their brain, neurologically speaking, less capable of empathy. And I feel like in order to improve yourself, if we're talking about like morally or whatever, I feel like you have to have empathy. Like you know what I mean? Like if we're
agree.
Oh, I'm in the 1%. I have a computer. I have access to all these resources. I should be doing something. You have to like understand the perspective of somebody else. So like it was really interesting when like people were talking about like right when this whole quarantine thing started and we were talking about unemployment. My friend and I were talking about it and we were like, oh, I don't know, like unemployment, like should I leave that for somebody else? Or, and every time someone would post like, oh, I need help or I need this, we'd be like, oh, should we like help them? And we're like, oh, I have like $7. Should I give it to them? It's because we are capable of empathy. Like we are close to their situation. Like, so by proximity and by financial ability and by whatever else, like we can improve ourselves by being, well, in my opinion, improving yourself is like being more giving, more generous, more loving, kind, whatever. But it's like, I feel like some people are, like the way they tested it was like, they showed like certain images in front of rich people and then like tracked their brain waves and like in where the brain was active. And like when they showed people who were starving or people who were hungry, like their brains like were like barely fired off. But then they had people who were like less rich and their brains were like flooded with empathy and like flooded with feeling. And it was as though they also were feeling hungry or also feeling needy. So I feel like it's like, yes, we can say like we're all obligated, but it's also like, I feel like because we are so connected and our ability to improve ourselves is so connected, we are obligated not just to improve ourselves, but to improve society because of the fact that the people who run society probably aren't capable of empathy. So we have to like, to improve ourselves or to improve the lives of others, we have to like fight the people who are at the top in order to create a space where we can truly live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In empathy and in love with one another. That's my thoughts.
I hear you. I kind of believe both sides. I mean, it's because for me, it's like you have a choice, so that's the thing. Being human, we have the choice to become better, to not. It just, it all comes back to your beliefs, upbringing, all that stuff, your filter of the world. But if one wants to improve society, make a greater contribution to humanity, that the price of entry is, self-improvement. You can't play at the first grade level and want to play at a bigger game, so to speak. So that's just my answer to that. If you want to, it's up to you. I think it's everyone's individual choice. I feel like this could easily be like, someone forcing a religion on them, or you have to improve mindset, bro, all that shit. But no one's going to improve themselves if they aren't ready for it. The whole classic thing, when the student is ready, the teacher will come kind of thing. So if the person does not want to prove themselves, then there's no amount of motivation, positive influences, or all this stuff will change them. The influences may help because then they're around that environment. And I think environment does play a factor. But it ultimately comes back to the individual choice. God damn, questions, man.
what Emeroy said, and what Emeroy said. That's my answer. What Emeroy said, but in my voice.
Thank you, Diego. Thank you, Diego.
Hey, what can I say? That's it. That's all I got. Next.
All right.
I would like to add like the question. I think there's like two sides to the question, because it's like, are you ethically responsible to improve yourself for yourself versus are you ethically responsible to improve yourself for your family, for your society, like under obligation, like Brendan says, like, and I think it's not. I think the word obligation might be like a communication, because for me it's like sort of a burden, but it's also a privilege to improve myself for the benefit of other people. Because it's like, if I improve myself, obviously I do it for myself, you know. I'm like, yeah, I'm better for me and I feel great, right? But if I get to do it and it helps like the people around me, that's amazing. But I think like it's easy to get lost where you want to do things for everyone around you, and it's just like, that's impossible. Like you want to like be everything for everyone, you know, and no one can do that, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of expectations where it's like, no, you need to be more like this or you need to be more like that. And I don't know, it's tough, you know, but I get what you're saying, Brandon. Yeah, that's all.
All right, dope. All right, so I got some light-hearted questions now. All right,
so I just want to say the guy named Hentai is over here dropping this knowledge. I just want to say.
No, you're talking Tin? Yeah, Tin's dropping some science. I'm glad to have you on the podcast, Tin.
Love his name's Hentai. Let's go.
Hentai is all knowledge.
Make sure if you guys want to know more, make sure you search hentai. You can also
search for Boku no Pico.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say his Instagram handle and everything. I'm like, oh goodness gracious, no.
All right, so next round of question number 3. What amazing thing did you do that no one was around to see?
No one's gonna believe us.
If you didn't record it, it didn't happen, bro.
You didn't record it, it didn't happen.
Before my alarm.
Oh, what? Get out.
That's a good one.
But did you stay up? Did you stay awake? Or did you go back to sleep?
No, I did not.
Ooh, that's a win.
I don't know. Let's look around. Let me look around.
There was that one night with my ex, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Shut the fuck up. So the question was it amazing for you or was it amazing for them?
It's always for them.
I'm gonna go check the Yelp reviews right now.
My Yelp reviews are amazing. There's pictures and everything.
But you have pictures. That's proof.
Yeah, no one else. Circle back to this one.
Really
actually, you know what?
All right.
You know what? I got one. It's not. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of that is not recorded. And wow, this energy is just 180 from the last question. My goodness. In Halo, back in the day, if the host would leave the party, your whole game pretty much got just fucking completely trashed, right? I was playing Team SWATs once, and 3 people had left, so it was 2 versus 5. And then I was like, whoa, fuck us. But in Team SWAT, it's like easy headshots. As long as you get hit the head, boom, easy. And then I went 30 kills, no deaths. But then here's what happened. Once again, the host left, and it did like this weird reboot. And it was Halo Reach, so then the game came back, boom, and I finished the game. But when I went to go record it, it wasn't there.
So did it even happen?
Shut up! It did happen. Shut up! It happened. Don't you come at me like that? Don't you come? You said stories, and it happened. I swear. And the thing that sucks is you get an achievement when it happens, but since I don't know, I guess since the game like crashed, I didn't get the achievement. And no one believed me. Yeah. See, there it is. No one's gonna believe me.
Man, that brought me to tears, man.
I believe you.
That's great. No, I think I have some, but I mean, I'm not to like toot, but I work in nonprofit, so I work with patients every day. So nothing is recorded on my patients, but I have patients who have hella stories that I'm just like, yo, my life is amazing compared to yours. Like, what the heck, you know?
You
Like,
say that to their face?
come in. Yes, I say that to their face. I'm like, damn, your life is fucked up. Wow, you really need help.
My life is great
I mean,
now after
I'm
hearing
like,
this.
right? I'm like, you need to meet my friend Hentai. No, but when it comes to my patients, I mean, man, I've heard stories, man, like crazy things of like my partner just
Oh no!
Oh no!
No! What happened?
died of cancer, and or I'm struggling with drugs, but I'm in like a domestic partner or a domestic violence partnership. I'm living out of my car for the past like 8 months, and like, you know, like just different things. I helped a patient once with seeking asylum.
Okay.
In the U.S., seeking asylum.
Whoa.
On top of getting healthcare, on top of getting counseling, and like I know people who can't even handle half of one of those, let alone like all of those at the same time. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Can
you
Your
got
connections like in and out.
Yeah, it's like for a sec, it's like you stop, but it then speeds up really quick.
Can you hear me now?
Like dancing, you gotta catch up, yo.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay.
Stay on beat. Oh, yeah,
Okay, stay on beat. No, yeah, I was just saying, like I have had patients who have multiple things that sometimes people like struggle with it. So, yeah, I don't know. None of those are recorded.
So you're just like essentially hearing it and just bearing that burden and being that kind of that stand for them, so to speak.
Yeah, I think when people get to an area where they just have no hope,
we'll just let them know right now. Hey, Brandon's connection is already messed up, but don't worry, everybody. We're keeping through this, and we're gonna keep you guys entertained throughout the whole entire way. Does anybody else have a story?
All right, thank you, Diego, for that. Okay. Anyone else?
I think you might have to disconnect and then come back.
All right.
I'll go. Oh, he's gone now.
Yeah.
Okay. He probably come back.
Yeah, he's come back on. I know it's his internet.
Well, I've worked in doing energy work and healing work, and worked in the jungle with people doing lots of like breath work and yoga and healing and all this stuff, and definitely seen some pretty wild things that like nobody else was around to see. And I'm just like, oh, there's a spirit leaving that person's body now. Like, oh. there's a healing happening. The person's now screaming and like this stuff is releasing out of them. And I've seen like a lot of things, and people have also had like, I've seen a lot of like really crazy spiritual experiences that people have had out in the jungles in Bali and Thailand. And, I don't know how to talk about it. I'm just like, so I went to Bali and
so some supernatural type stuff.
Some supernatural type stuff. Yeah, I've definitely seen
it. Was just you, no one else? Were there other witnesses?
Sometimes there was other people. Yeah, sometimes I was alone.
I don't believe
you. should we like? Actually, excuse me. Go ahead.
And I've definitely heard. It's gonna sound weird. I've heard the plants talk to people. I've heard the plants like talking to us, like out in the jungle. Like I've definitely been out there meditating and like connected to everything the way that you're supposed to when you meditate and you connect to source and everything. And I've heard the plants talk, and I've seen spirits, and I've seen spirits come out of people, and
I mean, I believe it. I mean, I've witnessed an exorcism.
Wait. So, hold on. When people were there, were they just kind of like, well, there's a spirit, or were they like shook?
Usually, the person that it's coming out of is freaking out. Like if a spirit, if like someone's doing an intensive breathwork practice and they're healing something, and something is releasing, a spirit is coming out of their body, usually they're freaking out, and then the spirit's leaving and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that was there. And then you help them move it out, and basically do an exorcism.
Yeah. Oh, that's wild. Yeah. I've witnessed an exorcism, so that shit is wild.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay, because I told this already on my other podcast, Awkward Tea Party. Make sure you go listen to that. But in this one, and I can also like chalk it up to like some sort of psychological thing that he was going through. So because I would, just to preface that, like,
and I would say those two are usually connected.
Yeah,
have spirits with them.
This was in high school. We were going through like it was a retreat. We're visiting all the different mission churches in LA. The last one was in Solvang. We were at this little chapel. Those of you guys know the Catholic practice, there's something called a monstrance, or just like a golden little thing where they believe that the body of Jesus Christ is like a little, the little bread that they do.
Yeah.
But we were there like ending it. I don't remember what time it is, maybe 9 or 10. We were just ending it. We were praying, and then in front of me is the monstrance. To my back right is where a wooden door. And then the next thing I hear is a like someone's trying to pull the door open. And I'm like, must be the priest. He's got keys. He'll find a way in. And I'm like praying, like whatever, like trying to reflecting on the day. Maybe 2 to 5 minutes later, like someone like you, like literally someone like intently trying to pull the door open, and I'm like looking, I'm like, this fucking priest is stupid, does not have keys to his own damn church. And then I continue praying, and then I hear it again one last time, and the next thing I know, like right behind me, there's a monstrance. Right behind me is a huge stained glass window of the Virgin Mary. I see a shadow walk by, and then have you guys seen Donnie Darko? Like it's Donnie Darko. It's that rabbit thing that just walks in, and then he just stares.
Oh.
And is just standing there like nothing. And I'm like looking at it because I remember when I was pacing, it was my back left where it was happening. I still get chills just like now that I'm talking about it in super detail. It's like I'm looking at it. I'm looking at everyone. Everyone's still praying. It's a creeper thing. Is like, is everyone fucking seeing this? And for me, like I'm an artist. Like I was going to art school at the time. Like not art school. I was trying to go. I was still heavy into arts at the time. I was like, nah, it's my imagination. It's my imagination. It's just like fucking chill. Like, but it's there. It in my mind, it felt unreal, but at the same time, what I'm seeing felt real. And then at the same time, I saw another friend of mine who sees things like more shadows. He's bawling because he's so scared right now. And another friend puts his hand on my shoulder, like right on, I think here, and he says, "Pray harder, because he's here." And the next thing you know, my friend just goes ballistic and goes like fucking a Hulk mode, starts punching the ground for no reason. And I'm like, this motherfucker is so disrespectful, acting like that in a chapel right now. But I'm like, but then I look back and it's gone. Like the thing that was there is gone. And then whatever is happening, I guess, took hold of my friend, I guess. And he was eyes closed and full on rage Hulk mode. It took all my strength to hold one side of his arm, my other friend to hold down the other side of my arm. My youth minister had to pin him down, go through this whole process of like, I don't even remember exactly. I just remember being so fucking scared for my life because I'm like, this like fucking Exorcist, the movie. I'm like, oh no, I'm in a fucking like, I thought this is just a movie, but this is like real life right now. Like, and it's taking me so much strength to hold him down. And then he was like, who are you? What are you doing here? And all this stuff, like trying to get him out. It's just wild. And it didn't help that, the girls, like his girlfriend was there, like they're all screaming and crying. Just adds to, it's like a horror scene, like literally, like in the church. And what baffles me to this day is like, why didn't the church, the people working there hear us? Part of my theory is that it was late, they're all home. They're probably different parts of the church because it's like 9 or 10 at night. Next thing you know, like you're going through this whole thing. He's not even speaking English. He decks my friend like and leaves him a fucking I think a cut or a bruise on the face, and he's just like not even speaking English anymore. He's like, and like in my head, it could be dissociative disorder where he could be like multiple personalities. That's one way to look at it. Another one's like, in the spiritual realm, there's something that really took hold of him. And eventually we got to a point of we got him to strong enough to stand up and hold the monstrance and say Jesus is Lord, say Jesus is Lord, all this other stuff. And he was like, this thing that took over my friend was like having a hard time saying it, just even putting out words. And then once you finish the sentence, it's not, he like yacked in a sense. And I'm like, while that's happening, I'm trying to support him, like, fuck, he just threw up in the chapel, we have to clean this up. But in his innocence, yak was like the spirit coming out like vomit, and it was gone, and he just passed out right after that. So it was like an intense like episode. I've never seen it, and it was like, we're high schoolers, like I think it was a senior seeing all this. So I'm like, shit, church shit is no joke right now. Fucking go home, pray my rosary and all this shit. But yeah, that was that. And like after that, he woke up. He had no idea what happened. His girlfriend was afraid to approach him like the rest of the retreat. And then, that was my exorcist experience, or exorcism experience. It was pretty like in your face. My youth minister is an ex-CIA agent, but also like he used to do a lot of missionary work. So he's like, yeah, this is shit I would see like going in other countries. So like he already knew what to do. Thank God, because fuck, I don't know what would have done if it was like a very clean cut kind of youth minister. This guy was like, no, he knew, like fucking knew what to do right off the bat. It was wild. Mm-hmm. So from then on, I was like, yeah, I it might be psychological, but for me, it's just like I've also seen random things. Oh, this is an interesting fun thing. Like seen random things that I feel like are imagination, but then I see that there's something really happening else. Like I at Jamaica, I was at this retreat home. It was at an orphanage. I was helping take care of orphans, but. I guess that's my thing. I went to Jamaica to help take care of orphans. So
there we go.
So, but at this one, like the people that were sleeping there, the girls that came with us, like they had a hard time sleeping in their room. So I'm just chilling. We're like talking about like, and he was like, Cleet, my youth minister, was like, we're having a hard time sleeping there. I haven't slept well for the past 2-3 days. And then we're like talking about it. Next thing I know, I see this. You guys know Baraka from like Mortal Kombat? Yeah. So he comes out and he just looks at me, and it just keeps walking around. So, yeah. So, okay. Good. Okay, Brandon. Yeah, if you have to bow, yeah. Your internet seems to be good right now. It looks like. Never mind. So, back. But yeah.
All this shit is believable, but I can't go 30-0 in Halo, right? I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah, that's me. Okay, I went on my whole fucking rant. I appreciate everyone listening and you guys listening. But yeah, that's just some. Oh, I guess that leads to the next random question. I guess is
some bullshit.
Any random paranormal experices?
Oh, that's the next question.
Ooh, yeah, I kind of want to throw that.
I mean,
I went through. I did my shit. I did my fucking 2 chapters on it. What about you guys? Since Halloween is just around.
I just want to say something about that story. Is that like when the spirits move out of people's bodies, people quite often do throw up. Like that's like the most normal thing that happens.
Oh, it's good to know. Yeah. What about anyone else? Like any paranormal activities? Aside from the movie?
I'm sad, first of all, that Brandon bowed out because he has some crazy stories.
I'm hoping he comes back on soon.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. For me, I don't know if this counts as paranormal, but I think it's kind of sort of the last question too, of like things that you're proud of or something that no one's seen. I feel the emotions of people even when they're far away. So it's like kind of like when moms like know instinctively when there's something wrong with their kid.
Yeah.
Or like when twins, you know how twins, even if they're like on different sides of the planet, they'll be like, oh shit, and they like know some shit went down with the twin.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But like the dial's turned up like maybe 2 or 3 notches. So like I've had some experiences. Like my friend, she's like, "You're a bruja." I'm like, "No, I don't know about that because I don't know what the Brazilian term is yet because I'm still learning Portuguese." But something along those lines. Because like, hey baby. I mean, I do have a black cat, so hey. But like sometimes, like I've had like hella creepy shit where like I know when my friends are like gonna die or like when they're like deeply afraid of shit. So like one of the most visceral ones I had was I was like cleaning this bathtub. Like we were all at this like beach house or whatever, and it was like me and my friend staying at like some girl's beach house too. Like we didn't really like this girl, but we were at her beach house, and like and I wasn't drunk, but everybody else was drinking. And so everybody had just left like a fucking mess in this like, oh, it was like a hot tub. And everyone had like sandy ass feet and sandy asses. And everybody had got like sand everywhere. And like, oh, we're pretending we're in a hot tub. I guess that was the joke. So like all that happened was we're staying in someone else's home and there's just hella sand in this empty ass hot tub. So I'm just like cleaning out this hot tub. And the beach is like pretty fucking far away because I'm in the house and then I have to walk out to the beach to get to the water. And I'm like cleaning out the bathtub and then I like feel my friend drowning and I like felt it in my whole being and I was like, oh shit. And I started like shaking and panicking because I like knew like, oh shit, Claire's drowning, like fuck. And so then I'm like this. I'm like literally like I've never shaken like that before. And I threw down this like thing that I was using to clean because at this point I'm all alone just cleaning this tub. And I like ran to the door and then I like ran outside and I ran onto the beach, run. And I'm like looking desperately and it's so dark and I'm like losing my shit because I felt her like give up. And that's the part that fucked me up. Like I felt her give up and accept that she was like, this was it. And that I was like terrified. And like everything was so dark because it was like nighttime, everyone's drunk, and I'm like looking and I don't know where anybody is. And I'm just like, do I scream? And then like inside me, and then something goes like, and so I don't feel her anymore. And it was like kind of weird. And then I like look out in the water and I see this like, like I see this little shape, even though it's dark, I see her shape like come out of the water. I'm like, she's got her clothes on. She's drunk as fuck. And she's like getting, you know, like she's
Jesus Christ.
Out deep. Yeah. And she like comes out of the water, like slopping out of the water. I'm like, oh my God, Claire. And basically what happened is she got caught in like one of those, like, what is it called? Like those undercurrents.
Yeah.
Riptides?
Yeah, riptides.
Yeah, like riptide. And she had got caught in a riptide. And I was like, I mean, if you think about it, it's a really useless gift to be able to feel other people's fear or sadness or emotions because predicting the future would be like way more useful. Then I could have stopped her from going into the water in the first place. But like, I don't have that. All I have is the present moment. And I can only feel it when I'm like zen in myself. Anyway, Claire's alive.
No, that's good. I was like, yeah. She's alive? Shit.
She made it. And I've had like a lot of experiences like that. Usually it's fear of death or near-death experiences. Sometimes it's depression and sadness. And sometimes it's really confusing because I don't know whose emotion it is, but I know it's someone else's. So I have to just sit there and wait until I figure out whose it is. And it can be very frustrating because I'm usually in a place where I'm like I'm on top of a hill and I just hiked up and I'm watching the sunset and I'm like feeling chill. So I'm like very zen. And then I'll feel like this like horrible pang of loneliness, frustration, and anxiety. And I'm like, I'm actually fine. I don't know what this is. I don't know who you are, but you're invading my emotions right now because I'm trying to have a nice time. But I'll just be sort of assaulted with someone else's experience. And then I have to figure out who it is. And then I'll just try my best to like text them or call them or help if I can help, but it's really rather useless.
That's wild. So it's like you have to, once it happens, it's like you have to do process of elimination to figure out who it is. Is it friends most of the time, or is it sometimes strangers?
Well, it's been expanding lately. So at first it was just people that I really, really love and that I feel really connected to, like my sister. So I know her like tone and her energy. So like I felt a feeling once where I was like 21 or 22 and I felt like, oh shit, I'm about to be 30. I'm going to be alone forever. And I just fucking accept it. Layden was like so gnarly. And it was like very feminine. And I'm not like super feminine. I was like, whoa, garbage. And then, but because I know her sort of like tone and the way she is, after a few minutes, I could sense that it was my sister. So usually it comes to me after like a while. But lately it's been expanding to people who I honestly don't even like very much. And I'm like,
shit, I'm sorry.
Like I've been like, I didn't even think I liked that girl, but I know shit about their lives, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I kept seeing visions of this one girl who I kept seeing visions of her like cleaning her house and taking advice, but taking it in her own way and then applying it. And I kept like seeing her like Marie Kondoing or something her house, but not Marie Kondoing because she refused to get rid of things she didn't want to get rid of. It's like a bunch of specific ass shit like that I won't go into. And it was like several days of this shit. And I was like, what is happening? Get out of I don't care about you that much. But then I went to this like dinner or this lunch. And then my other friend was like, oh, did you know? Like Lauren's been in AA. And I was like, oh. And then I talked to Lauren, the girl who I can say, because you guys don't know me there, so it's fine. And then apparently the reason I've been feeling it for those past couple of days is because it's like people don't go to AA because it's fun, right? You go so that you can live the rest of your life and be your best self in the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
There's like other reasons, obviously. So what I was feeling from her was those past couple of days, she had been working on her sort of like application for this raise. So I'd been feeling her cleaning house in terms of her behavior and her relationships and like putting the things she had been learning into practice. And so I expressed it to her and she's like, oh yeah. She's like, you know why you've been feeling that? It's because I'm applying for this raise and and this new job and this new journey. So I was like, oh, okay. So wow. It's just like shit like that where it's just sort of random. And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. It's fine. But it's just what's going on. So I'm personally obsessed with you, Saphira. That you're hearing plants. That's my dream. And I don't know how you've been given that. But
I'm sure you have it. Yeah. I mean, if you're able to feel all of that stuff, then you can probably.
Yeah. I almost feel like you guys you can definitely learn a lot from Saphira and what she's been doing in regards to healing.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of your skill set. You just have to learn how to use it.
She's like raw talent right now.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
All right. You guys ready for the next random question?
Yeah.
Right. So, just to keep it light, what do you guys do to unwind?
This?
Watch Netflix.
Watch Netflix?
Yeah. Turn my brain off.
That's true.
Diego, what's this? What does that mean?
Podcast.
Hang out with me. Hang out and play video games with me.
Wow, you really does.
Pretty much, hang out with Emeroy. If I got free time, we just play video games, and then on my other free time, we do podcasts.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
and in between, I just work. That's it.
Make it sound like we're bros, dude.
Yeah, you guys
are we not? I thought we was.
We go through adventures together on video games.
Dude, like how many times have we revived each other? Come on, can you say we're not bros?
Okay, fair.
How are you gonna Bro, don't make me leave the guild.
Oh, don't leave the guild. Video games. for a good hour, I just turn off technology, and I just wash dishes and do like massage gun shit.
I love the hat, by the way.
What hat?
The captain's hat.
I'm captain of my own ship now.
Look, he's the captain now, Emeroy.
Okay. All right. What about you guys?
I mean, I go into a storage like warehouse where there's a bunch of like broken arcade machines, and then I smoke like plenty of weed.
This sounds like a movie.
And then I'm like amongst these machines, you know, that were made for entertainment a long time ago, and I'm like, man, people don't give a fuck about arcades anymore because they just want to watch playable movies on the consoles. What happened to real shit? So I'm like playing these games. I'm like, man, this is fucking hard. How can you get into this?
Are you high right now?
No, I wish.
Dude, how do you? That's what you do to unwind, like every time.
No, I don't unwind, dude. I'm just there, and I'm just like, man, look at all these black cubes around me. You know,
it sounds like his unwinding is reflecting.
Yeah, and I just like do a lot of reflecting, you know, and then like I'm like totally addicted to screens. I don't know if anyone is like addicted to screens, but literally I wake up and I'm like, where's my fucking small tiny screen that I need to look at, you know? I don't even go on social media like anymore. I quit Facebook or whatever. So I just go and I'm just like, I need to look at my screen, and I'm just like, why? You know? It's like, like on the toilet looking at screens. I don't know. Maybe it's like a new thing, the screen addiction thing, you know?
For you or in general?
In general. I think
screen addiction has been around since fucking mobile came out, like smartphones, I feel like. Because it's been, you know, but if it's not the screen, it would be something else, though. Have you seen those other old-time photos of, like, people looking at newspapers and all that shit? So, yeah, Diego, yeah.
Teacher, yes. Quick, I gotta go back to Amanda because real quick, did somebody knock on your door or did you hear something?
No.
Here comes some shit for you to deal with right now.
Because, dude, what was that?
No, it's just my cats. My cats, they wanted to go.
It was your cat. Okay.
Nobody's dying.
No, because there was an earlier moment because your light was turned off, and so behind you it was this darkness, and there was a moment I forgot who was talking, but I noticed that you did this. Like,
it's literally just my cat.
You looked back a lot, and then you turned the light on, and then now you went to go enter the door, and there was no one there. And I'm like, no.
There's something that would be so wild if you see like a spirit like right there.
No.
Fucking turn off your light. See who you see. I'm just
honestly,
isn't that like the
human beings in my experience? I know of friends who've seen shadows. They're always humans for me, which is way worse. Way worse.
I hate that face you're doing right now, dude. It just gave me fucking chills. Because I mean, to this day I still quote unquote see things, but I always chalk it off to my imagination. Like,
no, we have to learn not to do that. Like, we have to just accept it.
Like, it's real. There's real stuff around us. We're getting drowned out with media and technology and all this stuff, and we're being told that it's not real, but stuff's happening.
Because
it's totally true. I've been reading like early psychiatrist work, like, and they talk about how like people who are in like more primitive societies, I say primitive quote unquote, but they're closer to the spirit, so they don't have neurosis like us. We're so how do you say, like, we're so logical, you know, like everything has to have a reason. So then and like fair. Spirits, you know, or quote unquote spirits, as they say, like, you don't know where it's from and you know where it's gonna go, you know. So it's like we're just so logical. We're like, oh, that's just you're dissociative, or oh yeah, I'm being antisocial. It's like, no, there's more. Like, there's more to it than just the logical. And then Amanda, when you were talking about how you can feel certain things, has anyone here watched Serial Experiments Lane?
No. Is this on Netflix? That sounds awesome.
Will it scare me?
What?
Scary?
It's a Japanese anime. It's an anime. Oh, I have seen this. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like it's really weird, but it talks about how. Well, one of the things it talks about how like humans, the existential question of does our spirit come first or does it our body? So is it like our body has the spirit and then like if we don't have the body, we have the spirit, or do we have the spirit and we don't need our bodies and the body's just kind of like a vessel, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like one of those like weird anime, whatever, but it's really interesting. I've been thinking about that because people can definitely feel things, and then people are like way connected with cell phones and stuff. Like I know this is like very weird, but like one of the original founders of modern Satanism, Aleister Crowley, he was a hardcore atheist, and he talked about yoga. And yoga traditionally means union with God, right? Like it's like a spiritual practice embedded inside a physical practice, right? Mm-hmm. So Farrah, just correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but he denies all of that because he's an atheist, right? So, but one of the things he says, and he has like this like very extensive lecture on yoga where he goes deep into like the physical practice, but denying like the spiritual connection. But like, it's interesting because one of the things he says is like, don't do yoga with a transmitter in the room, like a radio or a phone or something. And I'm like, why? Like if you're such like a hardcore logician and you know, you don't believe in the spirit world or whatever, why would you say like very specific things like that? And I don't know. And it's just like weird to me that everyone's on this, right? Or watching TV. So if everyone's back in the day, people used to gather like what in masses, like 200, 300, and we would pray, right? Or we would send our intentions. We would unite to send our intention, right? Our mental or spiritual intention towards the universe. Mm-hmm. We don't have that. We have protest and we have this. Like everyone is like a zombie on this. And like myself too, like millions of people tune in, all their attention's on the TV, right? So all of their intention is on this like program. So what does it do to us psychologically and spiritually? And I've been thinking about that a lot. And just me being around so much dead technology, you know, because like the fucking black cube, the TV, and then this, and everyone posting black squares on the Instagram. And I'm just like, what does that mean? What does that mean? But anyways, yeah, getting off track.
No, I mean, we've gotten so far away from nature, and that's the balance of masculine, feminine, like the masculine energy going into logic and reason and authoritarianism and putting things into boxes and categories. It's gotten so far away from the feminine, the nature, the earth, the connection to spirit and all this stuff that we're having problems now. People have physical health problems because they're not eating the right herbs. They're not connected to the earth and the nature, and people are having mental problems because they're, you know, stuck in technology and they're stuck in disconnection and isolation and all this stuff. So it's like that separation between the masculine logic and the feminine earth and spirit stuff is pretty severe now. So people are really feeling it now. People are so far into technology and logic that we're missing stuff, you know, that we need.
Yeah. I mean, I was missing, because now I'm obsessed with that girl, Lauren, who I didn't think I liked very much. I was putting up all kinds of logical boundaries. I was like, I don't like that she did this that one time. And then I like hated her. And then now that I'm like forced by powers, whatever, beyond my understanding, to actually connect with another human being, I'm like, oh, fuck, she's so cool. You know, but sometimes it's like, since all this bullshit, like our phones and everything is telling us what we're supposed to think about other people and how we're supposed to feel about other people, we like have to shut that shit down and just like focus on like what do we actually feel. Like when Emeroy, what you were talking about, your experience, that really resonated with me, because you're talking about, you were looking at this fucking thing in that church or whatever when you were in high school, and it's like you were fucking knowing that was happening, but you're like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew that shit was happening. You're like, that's not happening.
It was an internal struggle. Yeah, I mean, I still go through it like right now, because I sometimes wake up to images that I know were not influenced, in their dreams. Like they're technically some people, like your dreams are influences of what happened through the day, all this stuff based off the information you can consume. But I would wake up to images, to things I definitely did not consume throughout that day, faces I don't recognize.
That's right, the collective unconscious.
So. Yeah. So I thought I was the only one that thought about that stuff. So yeah, I'm like, who is this?
You're not alone.
Like I'd wake up like, who is this? Like, why am I looking like? I'd be too tired to think about it, but it would just.
Well, I mean, they say that you're able, even though you don't know a person, even though you can just see them. I mean, you met them someplace. You can't really dream about a person you haven't met or you haven't seen. So these people that you dream about, because I've had those dreams where for some reason there's a random person within my adventures, within my life, and it's like, who the fuck was this person that was just chilling with us? But they say that it's just somebody you see 100 people randomly. Probably not nowadays, but on our normal days, you would see all these people on the streets. So the people in your dreams are just people that you've seen in the background of your life sometime, somewhere.
That's, I see you in my dreams all the time, Diego. So,
what am I wearing?
We're wearing our dauntless armor, going through fighting behemoths.
Yes.
We play this game called Dauntless for everyone, just to give you guys context. We play this game called Dauntless, and we fight monsters, and we have cool armor.
Her son is very good at it.
And my son is the one that leads the pack, because he is probably the best player out of the three of us. He's had to save me and Diego multiple times from danger.
Great times.
I'm loving this.
It sounds like a 3-on-3 where the kid is a power head, right? And then like the kid just like comes out and kills everyone with like breakdance power, and was like, no, dude, I'm not going out to that.
Like, there's no way of winning that.
Yeah.
Kid comes out with an air flare fucking power set. Yeah.
That's so broken, dude. That's like you get the 3-on-3s with like a guy who's really good at like traditional shit, and then a guy who's really creative, and then a kid who's really good at power. It's broken, dude. It's like Marvel's Capcom, where it's like broken, man. Cheating, like they,
Good reference. Great reference.
Marvel versus Capcom. Okay. So, I feel like we're kind of leaning towards it. What's getting worse and worse as you get older, and what's getting better and better as you get older?
My back.
Oh God.
My knees.
My
Like
knees.
has a body problem.
Body problems, definitely. Yeah.
I definitely feel like, the whole like my mind's getting sharper, my body's not.
Oh, your body's just catching up to your mind.
Your body, so your mind is fucked. Your body's just equally fucked up as your mind. I feel like technology is kind of getting better, but human connectivity is kind of getting worse.
Yeah, you know what? That's crazy.
Like
That's crazy. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because as connected as we are, as me as a marketer, I see like the advantages of technology. Yes, of people finding, someone who's alone, can't connect with the community. They can find a community on a forum or on a YouTube video where they can find their space. I can see that. But it's also taking away the whole actual connection that we have with each other, which creates these deep, I guess, unseen energies that allow us to connect. I also think that empathy is something that's highly lacking in a lot of people, because many people are seeking others to be in agreement instead of to listen. But on the other side, technology, I think, is getting better. I also think self-awareness has become better, or some sort of importance of self-development is slowly improving. Safira, we talked about this. Like, I think the next evolution of humankind is our mindset, of the evolution of the mind instead of something physical.
And emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And the next thing would be, like, if Elon Musk has his way, we're going to be cyborgs. We might become, there's that, but who knows? We're technically cyborgs right now, where it's just like, it doesn't happen in an instant, where like, if I want to move my arm, it does this. We still have to type it in, and for things to happen, we're technically cyborgs in that sense. Technology is getting better. Human connectivity is lessening, but I also think there's an awareness about it, which we're leveraging technology to make these things aware. So it's like, it's kind of like a weird cycle or battle of opposites somehow coming together. So my random thought on that. So
Technology's getting better, but would you guys let your kids date a robot?
oh man.
What do you mean date a robot?
Like her, like Joaquin Phoenix?
Like, no, like straight up, okay, kinda. But the embodied version, I'm thinking like iRobot, when there's like the robot that lives in the house and it does all the things for you. Like, what if those have like their own AI, right? And then our kids are like, hey, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, this is my partner, and it's a fucking robot. I personally will be, whatever's the racist term against robots, I will not let my kids date a robot. I will be robot racist. I feel like there's a line.
Why are you racist against robots? Robot lives matter too, you know.
Created, and I don't trust that shit. Humans are fucked up. I don't want my kids dating a fucking robot.
There's that whole argument of like of sentient beings. Like when the AI or robot becomes smart enough, is it considered a living being because it can think for itself, it can feel for itself.
I'm not ready.
So that's such a
I die before that shit.
a debate between scientists and humanity, because you know you're technically killing a being that can think for itself. But I don't know.
Right now is that like when you talk about Emeroy, like the emotional intelligence and stuff, I feel like we have two things happening at the same time. Like the technology is going up and getting way more advanced, and you could have emotionally intelligent robots one day, which is like crazy. But then at the same time, I also feel like what they're improving is people's emotional intelligence and ability to be in actual relationship. Like you're talking about like couples, like actual relationship with each other that's like aware and present and like it could be healing. Like I feel like we've gone through all of like everyone's parents are divorced and everyone's like gone through all these like these things, and there's just a new wave coming in where I see a lot of people having like really awakened relationships and mature like ability to be emotionally intelligent, and I feel like there's growth happening in all of that, and I see all of that happening at the same time that like robots are coming in.
At the same time, human intelligence is like emotional intelligence is on the rise. Like therapy, I think I'm so glad that the whole thing about therapy is just getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's being less stigmatized.
Yeah, I think people are becoming more self-aware, and it's good. People are growing more mature, you know, and actually getting through their shit. At least that's what I see. But
yeah, I see that a lot. I mean, there's like obviously there's spots, there's dents that can be improved, but you know, I feel like eventually the world, like you know, like rising tide lifts all boats, that kind of thing. So eventually, whatever will be in, I guess, quote unquote, higher frequency.
I do have a question for Amanda though. So you mentioned like the robot is embodied, right? What if the robot wasn't embodied, like her, you know, where it's more like an emotional support system? And it's not like
living conscious thing.
And I make the distinction of embodiment because humans are like what we perceive, right? So we perceive tools like by like their size. So then this is a cup, and things that are hand sized are like we perceive them as usable, right? We're not giants, so we don't look at a huge redwood and be like, oh yeah, that's a tool. Like no, like everything is hand sized, like, and so our perspective of the world is like based on how we interact with it, right? So if an AI has a body, which means it's going to be, and it's the same size as us, which means it's going to be forced to interact with the world in a similar way to us. Whereas if it doesn't have a body, it's like a spirit. So like, I just make the distinction. Like, I know like from your reaction, like you are against like your children possibly dating a robot, right? Obviously. But like, do you make the distinction between like an AI that's able to, like in her, where she sits on the phone, you know, and she's just like able to give emotional support, or maybe in like Blade Runner, where it's just a hologram, right? Versus an actual, like, not flesh, but an actual, like,
you can see them,
you know, like an actual, like physical entity.
Fear of the
Diego, this is very different from the other podcasts, right, Diego?
Smart House on Disney Channel. Who's seen Smart House?
I haven't seen it.
Smart House is wild. Oh my gosh.
Fucked up everything.
Right.
Okay? Because she was hooked up. Her personage, her shit was hooked up to every fucking thing.
That sounds like Black Mirror.
So it's fear. It's completely fear-based. I'm 100% running on only anxiety and fear at all times. And this is no different. So it's like if they're dating fucking her, like I see it as like, okay, yeah, they kind of had a relationship and yeah, this and that. But it's like at the same time, people fucking watch the whole movie. She was also fucking with like a million other people, right? You don't know. This is a whole different fucking entity. And it could fucking turn off your lights and turn off your fucking internet and control you, okay? And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of it turning into an abusive relationship because we're so reliant on technology that if you're dating your fucking technology, that shit will control you. And as someone who's seen / been a part of abusive relationships, I feel like it's completely me being afraid of what that experience is going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, at that... I mean, isn't that the same thing as you being afraid of your child being manipulated or controlled by just another human? I mean, at the same time, like humans are just as shitty as well, and humans are capable of terrible things as well. So at that point, you're kind of just saying that you don't want your child to be married to anybody.
A shitty.
I feel like it's the dependency. I guess that's the worst part because humans suck. That's for damn sure. Humans are the worst. But also, if humans create the AI, it's like this double whammy, right? Because it's like we're already dependent on this shit for like our whole fucking lives. And then we're dependent, like abusive people create a codependency. That's like how they operate. So like if I'm dependent on this person, if my child is dependent on this person as like their whole entire world, their technology is wrapped up in this person can control their technology.
That's a very intense codependency. Their emotional well-being and everything else is in this person. I'm like, I'm not trying to fuck with that. And I hope I fucking die before people start fucking robots. That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
But you know what is happening? There's people in Japan that are dating a girl named, I don't remember her name. I don't even know. I don't want to say it.
That's hot.
There's some character who's in an app, and there's a whole bunch of Japanese guys that date her, and it's a documentary on Netflix called The Dark Web, and these guys are all like some of them marry her.
I'm just kidding.
Like she's in their phone, and there's videos of these guys that have had wedding ceremonies with the phone because they married the character in the phone.
Yeah, there's other instances where it's like a game. Yeah.
Yeah, like marrying the DS or something, right? I think some guy did that. Yeah,
someone married a game in their DS.
Haven't people like been marrying inanimate objects for like the longest time though?
No.
Yeah, I've seen
people get married when they're vegetables, right?
Hold on, let's see.
That's the fucking difference.
Wait, what'd you say?
The robots that I have in my mind, my mind sphere that I've created, they can also control everything about you. They can control whether or not you receive text from your parents.
Yeah, that's a scary thing. Like the difference with the humans versus AI is like if they're technology, they can go into your Facebook if there's a Facebook or your text.
Hey, a human can do that too. A human can take away your phone service and have a landline. And he can be like, if you answer this phone, shit will happen to you. And so he's the only one that answers it. And then every time they call, he can be like, no, she's not here. She's at work. Boom.
But I feel like
same
that's
shit.
That's a known entity. I know how to fuck with those motherfuckers. I know how to throw down with those fools because I've done it. But a robot, I've never thrown down with a robot.
Have some water on the bitch. What do you mean?
Throw some water on the bitch. Error. Oh my gosh. Well, this podcast is definitely unique compared to the previous ones we've done.
Definitely unique.
Right, Diego?
Definitely unique.
From existential. Oh my gosh.
Exorcisms to AI.
That shit. I think that's the title of the podcast.
I think it relates, I think it relates. I've seen like there's like a augmented reality. So they have this cam girl, like a girl who worked on the, like the cam chats, and they did like I think she was wearing like a motion capture. So then like all of her movements were captured, and then they put a skin over. So it's like this anime girl. So someone's doing the motion capture, but the face and like everything else is like anime girl,
Oh.
Dude, she got so many subscribers. It was hilarious,
dude,
because then like the real people who were doing camming were like, no, we're being replaced.
Yeah,
all of this.
Oh no, I thought that was funny. I don't know.
Imagine a dude just putting on a mocap suit.
Yeah, it could
and
be
a voice
dude.
changer.
It could be a dude. It could be a dude. You know,
Equalizing the cam playing field, because I know dudes are trying to.
The old bait and switch. How dare they?
But so, Safira, I think you were gonna share something.
Oh yeah, all of this makes it more reason to be a dancer, because I feel like dancers are people that embody like spirit, that actually are embodying something real and connecting through the body, you know, and people aren't doing that anymore. People have totally lost touch. So I think that being a dancer is really valuable, because we're the only ones. Like even a musician can be stuck in their head. Like a musician can be like all, you know, out there and doing all their stuff on producing music on the computer and not really being connected and making like beats that are out of like normal time. Like you can create beats now, like you can create things that are out of time, and a dancer is the only one that is still really embodying their own power. And so I feel like we're special. We're the last.
You're the saviors.
Yeah. Yeah, get out of your head and into your heart. So
Jeez.
So
Diego.
Jeez, that's a big ass pedestal we're putting dancers on.
But I mean, look at the direction everything's going in. I mean, special.
Because it's like, I think it's the only art form that truly demands full presence of the body and command of it. You know, whereas working out, you're very conscious like of the reps, the form, and all this other stuff. But with dancing, and just from my experience, it's like it's a combination of like, I feel like both brains, and I feel like it's connected to that study of like how music activates all parts of your brain. So I feel like that because music is really the backbone of dancing, since we're activating all different parts of the brain and we're then translating into the body, it's like it's just one hell of an art form.
Yeah, and then it makes us feelers, you know, because we're translating all of this intelligence into the body, and we have to move the body, so we have to feel, you know, and people aren't doing that anymore. People aren't feeling anymore, and we're the ones.
Feeling is hard.
It's interesting because like I've worked with students who are so like into their heads, are very timid because they're worried about judgment, and then I'd say a year working with them, they start releasing, and they go from like dancing here to like actually going out because they let go of that kind of judging part of their brains. What was that? Shared on.
I just sent a video that my friend Jenna made. She's a dancer, and it's beautiful. It's very short, but it's like about how like dancers feeling her body. It's on par with what you're saying. You can watch it at your leisure.
Okay, thanks for sharing. But yeah.
Speaking about dancing, though, I've been thinking about how like because dancers have knowledge, right? Like, but it's like embodied knowledge, and it's, I don't know if anyone is like familiar with how do you say what is it, counter technique. It's like this modern dance technique that's based on like flow and using as little energy as possible and momentum, right? But counter technique is hard because it was developed by an advanced dancer who was getting old. So she developed her own technique so it doesn't like brutalize her body, because ballet is like hardcore. So she developed it, and it's very heady. So, and a lot of times, like when I try to explain counter technique to people, I can't explain it because you have to, like, you kind of literally have to be there in the studio and watching someone who's been doing counter technique for like 20 years to know like all the tiny microscopic things that they're doing with their body and their energy, right? And like this Corona thing hits and nobody's in the studio, and I'm just like so sad because I'm like, how do we keep that knowledge, you know, because it's like locked in the body. It's like encoded in there, and it's not like a program you can just like, oh, here's a copy, you know, like you have to work it in your body and make sense of it. And then, you know, if you are successful, then you can teach it to someone. But it's like, if we're not meeting face to face, how can we teach that? It's like, how do you teach jujitsu if you have to social distance? the only way you're gonna learn jujitsu is by like someone choking you out. Like it's just literally how it works, you know? So I've just been thinking about that a lot. So all of the dancing that I've taken over the years, I'm just like, wow, like how do we preserve that? And I've never taken an online dance class. As soon as this shit hit, I was just like, peace. I don't want to even do that, you know? And I know people have to, because it's like, it's necessity, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, how do we, so that's just what I've been.
Well, dancing outside, you know, like that, you can connect with nature. You connect with, I mean, you need a hard surface to dance on, you're probably on concrete, but like just being outside alone is helpful in connecting with the elements and connecting your body to feeling again.
Yeah.
Yeah, being outside works. I mean, I've been going to the park like every day, just like going outside and just practicing like handstands and stuff. Bro, like practicing on the grass, and then when you go back to like a flat surface, it's so easy. It's weird.
Yeah, the unevenness.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're like an hour and 40 minutes in. To start wrapping up here, is there any last things that you want to share with anyone listening right now? Any last thoughts? No?
Don't give up. Just don't give up, yo.
What do we talk about?
Dancing. Dances are amazing.
I know it's like pretty dumb to say don't give up when you like don't have a job, and you know it's like really hard. I mean, it's really easy to feel hopeless. Like, and I would know because I used to like I would like go out and dance all the time. Like that's my entire social network is through dancing. Like that's how I meet friends and stuff. And now like I don't see anyone. Like I go to work and I work by myself because I work construction. So I have like specific shit I have to do. And after that I go home. I smoke weed. Like I literally don't talk to anyone unless it's behind this. And I hate this. I hate the like using the phone to talk to someone, you know? So yeah, it's lonely out there, but don't give up, you know? Like go into nature, like Saphira says. Nature connects us.
100%. I just realized that you have the fancy lights on too.
Yeah, I got mood light.
Ooh. All right. Anyone else?
Add us on Dauntless.
Okay, add us on Dauntless.
Add us on Dauntless. There you go.
Saphira, Amanda.
Anyone who's made it this far, love you. Props to you.
Yeah, props to you.
Far.
Jeez, that's true. Actually, damn, what the hell did we talk about?
So, yeah. So
thanks for sticking in, everybody.
For the two or three of you still listening, we appreciate you. We certainly took you guys on a journey in regards to topics. Thank you, Random Question Generator, for leading us towards a rabbit hole of variety for this podcast.
It was
definitely a variety. And Amanda, Saphira, Diego, and Tin. I was about to call you Hentai because you got that name.
Don't use my real name.
Thank you for hopping on. For those of you still listening, we appreciate you guys. If you like this stuff, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share this with friends who you think might find this entertaining. Give everyone here a follow. Give Brandon a follow, even though he was here for like the first quarter of the podcast. And yeah, that's it. Make sure you take care of the people you love, wear a mask, register to vote, all the good stuff. And yeah, love you guys. Appreciate for listening. Have a great day, week, life, year, whatever year it is. Hopefully things are better in the future whenever you're listening to this. And we will see you guys on the next podcast. Take care, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.